military like?
Oh, well, that was fun. It started out being terrible, the usual military experiences, but then they found out that I had been a writer, and they took me away from the tough part of the Signal Corps, and they brought me to New York, where they had their headquarters for the people who wrote training films,
right,
and did instructional books. And before I knew it, I was writing training films to make it easy for the troops to do what they had to do so they could learn everything quickly. Like, I did stuff like the operation and nomenclature of the M10 rifle, which I knew nothing about, but I had to write the book. So I had to get myself an M10 rifle. I almost blew my head off. And I wrote the instructions. The nomenclature was always important. That's the word they used. You had to describe the name of every part of the thing. So I had to know that this is called the trigger. It's ridiculous. And I wrote training films, and I wrote cartoons, and I had to take things that were difficult for the troops to learn and find a way to write them so they'd be easy to learn. And one of them, which is very unglamorous, the payroll department, the finance department, they paid the soldiers, but the soldiers were always getting paid late because the people in payroll weren't good enough at what they were doing, and it was wrecking hell with morale. The soldiers were risking their lives and they weren't getting paid on time. So it was my job to tell the payroll people how to speed up what they were doing, to instruct them. And I came up with a game, a character called Fiscal Freddy. And you had to move him from the top of the page to the bottom, past all the little traps that I put. And each trap was a question about finance for the Army. Anyway, to make a long story short, that little character speeded up the training of the Army finance so that the troops finally were getting paid on time. So in my own way, I practically won the war.
You did, yeah, you did. You won the war. You kept morale high, and you won the war for the Allies.